Martin Perez showed tremendous potential while closing out 2017. In his final 11 starts, Perez gave his team the best chance to win in the thick of a competitive AL wildcard chase. A rapid recovery this spring put aside all doubts on his return. And today, he suits up for the Rangers in our series finale from Oakland. Well, for the final time in what will be quite a little while, we welcome you from Oakland, California, where the A's host the Rangers in the final game of this 4-game series. Rangers dearly hoping for a split with a win today, and happy to have Rougned Odor back in that starting lineup. Welcome in, folks. We're ready to go. I'm Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nitkowski in this final game. The Rangers now the 8th game of the regular season, using their 6th different starting pitcher. The good news is we're excited to welcome back Martin Perez.
It's good to see Martin Perez back in the rotation and taking this start. He is one of 4 left-handed pitchers with the Rangers in the rotation, but certainly the longest tenured of that group. And we go back to what he did a year ago and how important Martin Perez can be when he is on the second half of the season, really even his last third of the season. Those final 11 starts, the Rangers went 9-2 during that time as they were trying to make a run at the second wild card, and Martin was very good. Not only the team winning record, but a 3.71 ERA during that time. He was up over a 5 prior to that. The walk rate also came down significantly, and so for Martin Perez, what he's trying to do starting today is to get back to where he was the way that he finished the season last year.
Yeah, comes in very determined. I mean, he was insistent after that injury. He was going to be back and ready when the season is started, and so here he is this afternoon. For more on Martin Perez, we check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, Martin was adamant that he wanted to be back and ready to go by opening date, and for all intents and purposes, he was. The Rangers just wanted to give him one last outing before he made his way back to a big league mound, and that's what he will do today here in Oakland. Bodes well for him because he is a good day game pitcher. But really, Martin Perez carving out quite a name for himself within this organization. You look at the numbers for him over the last 2 years, first, second, and third in those categories, really has become a mainstay. We saw the numbers from last season and the last 2 months. He says that's his potential. He's shown flashes. It's time for him to step up and start living up to those expectations, the potential that he feels like this organization has seen in him, and also the expectations that he has for himself. He'll get that going in 2018 here in Oakland. He will be opposed by Daniel Mengden of the A's. We'll have the finale of the 4-game series coming up, and Mengden is in our spotlight when we return from Oakland.
See your best in Texas Ford dealer during Truck Month. It's buy now time. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fee. That's transparency. Well, an overcast day, but a good one for baseball this afternoon. The Rangers looking to split this 4-game series in Oakland. Time for our Shiner Box Spotlight, and we're just talking about Daniel Megden going to break.
Yeah, Daniel Megden, the righty here for the Oakland A's, a guy who has been good against Rangers. You see what he did in his last start. That was last year against the Texas Rangers on October 1st. 7 innings, no runs, just 4 hits allowed. He was locked in. He's an interesting guy, interesting mechanics, not overpowering. He's got that funky delivery as well, and so the Rangers looking forward to a second shot. But this is what stuck out to me. That game last year was in Texas. Well, he's 5-3 with a 4.12 ERA on the road in his career. He has never won a game here in the Oakland Coliseum, and so we certainly like that. The odds playing in the Rangers' favor. I'd love to see that go up to, I don't know, 0-10 with maybe about a 7.5 ERA. That'd be a pretty good number, I think, to finish Megden's day. Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Daniel Megden. I mentioned not overpowering necessarily, 56% fastballs that sit around 93 miles an hour. You'll see a slider, curveball, and a changeup. Your standard 4 pitches for Megden. And of course, one absolutely fantastic mustache.
Nope. Can't teach that. Time to take a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers. 2 wins, 5 losses. It's Chu in the leadoff spot again as the DH. Joey Gallo, Elvis Andrus, Adrian Beltre, who has good numbers against Megden. Mazara, Odor, Ryan Rua, and Drew Robinson and Juan Centeno getting the start behind the plate.
And we'll take a look at the defense here for the A's that will be playing behind Megden today. It'll be Pinder, Smolinski, and Piscotty back out in right field this afternoon. Chapman, Simeon, Jed Lowry, Matt Olson in the infield, and old friend Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate doing the catching. Threw out 3 runners the other night against the Texas Rangers. It had to be, well, it wasn't fun for us, but it was fun for him. Anytime you compete against your old teammates and you do something well, a little extra pep in your step the next day around batting practice, around the cage. A couple of glances over to your old buddies. Hey, you didn't get such a great jump there, did you? Hopefully not today for Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, Megden is ready to go, and so is Shin-Soo Choo. And we rock it back again, and now our first pitch fouled away for a strike. You said it. He's an intriguing guy, Megden. He's got the unique delivery, the unique mustache. I would think from the standpoint of trying to keep consistent mechanics, it looks like that would make it challenging. Little roller over to the right side, and Chu retired on the second pitch of the ball game.
All right, so do you think now that they're just messing with us a little bit? You talked about this last night. The temperature, game time temperature, first 3 games, 59, 58, 57. Is that right?
Yeah, let's see. Yesterday was 57. That's
right.
Correct.
So when 59, 58, 57. Today, 60. Straight flush.
I don't know what that pays, but whatever it is, we'll take it. A local time start here, 12:37, so just after lunchtime is the first pitch to Gallo. Popped up left side of the infield. Megden is 3 pitches into the ball game and has collected 2 outs. A guy who was very good last year in his final start of the season. That one against the Rangers. This year, his first start of the season did not go quite as well. 5 2/3 innings, allowed 6 runs on 7 hits.
Smart move there from Elvis Andrus. And Rob Manfred, our commissioner, probably didn't love it, but the idea there for Elvis taking his time as he gets up to the box. You just said it, 3 pitches into the game, there's 2 outs. So Elvis Andrus wants to slow it down a little bit and see if he can get the righty out of his rhythm.
Megden had to wait a little bit there, and now to the plate, pumps it in for a strike.
If I'm not mistaken, it was against Rougned Odor last year with Megden where he was taking, that's his delivery, and it was like he did like 3 pumps, and finally Rugi just stepped out. They called timeout as he was still kind of going through his delivery. And guys that do this kind of thing, there'll be some inconsistency on purpose to it. Might be 1 pump over the head, might be 3. Try to keep guys off balance.
1-2 the count. Andrews off to a good start this year. 346 average coming in. Getting on base at a better than 410 clip. And one of those things now you start to watch a little closer with each passing day. He's currently running the second longest active streak right now without a strikeout. Magnan's 1-2. That'll even it up. 30 straight appearances.
Done a great job putting the ball in play. Second longest active streak in the game right now. Whit Merrifield has the longest streak with the Kansas City Royals.
That's a tough take right there. Full count now. Good job of battling it back to make it full. Magnan's pitch, and there's a ground ball, shortstop Semien right there, and it's a routine play, and it's a routine top of the first for Manfred. Yeah, shrug it off. And now Martin Perez for his first start of the year. As we get ready to go on the bottom of the first, a look at this A's lineup. Marcus Semien, Chad Pender, and Jed Lowry up top. Davis, Olson, and Matt Chapman there in the middle. Chapman's been a tough out. Lucroy, Stephen Piscotty, and Jake Smolinski, the bottom of the order for the A's. 3 wins, 4 losses for Oakland. They're 3 games back in the division. And Martin Perez ready to go, his 2018 debut. Roster move made today to activate Martin Perez. Jose Leclerc was optioned to AAA Round Rock to make room for him. The lefty's first offering, a swing at a fly ball down the right side, out of play.
Well, here is the pitch arsenal for Martin Perez and what he featured a year ago. 59% fastballs, and that fastball will sit right around 93 miles an hour. He has the changeup, he's got the slider and the curveball as well. Of the off-speed offerings last year, 250 batting average against the slider, 267 against the changeup. Just 1 home run against that slider last year as well. Most of the home runs that Martin allowed, 16 of them, came on fastballs.
Working pretty quickly, and a little bouncer third base side. Easy play for Adrian Beltre, 1 away.
Well, you remember that was a conversation for Martin last spring training, right? It's always interesting for guys when they come in and talk about what they're trying to do. Well, a year ago, Martin Perez said he was going to work on picking up that tempo and trying to figure that out, get comfortable doing it. You know, this year he's talking about really taking that next step and You and I were talking about it last night, man. He just seems kind of locked in mentally, even though we only saw spring training games. There is something about the determination of Martin Perez wanting to take it to the next level. He's been good in his career. We don't want to undersell that, but expectations a little bit higher for him, and it seems like he couldn't wait to get this season started.
Deals with Chad Pinder here. Pinder's had a pretty nice series. Very good against Cole Hamels the other night, and rolls this one weekly foul. 0-2 the count.
I don't think Martin's going to be able to top what happened yesterday as far as pace of play and how quickly that game went. 2 hours and 23 minutes. I mean, that was a shocker.
That was a shocker.
I've resigned myself to just right around 3 hours will be average. That game was flying yesterday.
1-2 on Pinder. Well, Martin turned 27 yesterday. Last year, 13 wins, a career best. Ground ball shortstop just past Andrews. And Pinder with the first hit of this game for either team.
Chad Pinder starting to get into that, not quite the Chris Davis category, but a guy that has been good against the Rangers so far in this series, as that ground ball is just out of the reach of Elvis Andrews.
That brings up Jed Lowry. Lowry's had good numbers against Martin Perez in his career. 9 for 26 against him, and he takes a strike. This does offer us the first opportunity, though, of the season to bring up a topic that will come up a lot when Martin is pitching, and that is his ability in these spots to get the ground ball that he needs and get the double play.
He has been really special when it comes to inducing the ground ball in these spots. Really incredible to see what he has done. And his ground ball rate is good. It's not crazy exceptional near the top, but it is very good. It has been over the course of his career, but nobody has been better than Martin Perez over the last couple of years when it comes to inducing double plays.
He's ahead of Lowry here, 0-2. He might just soon put him away with his pitch. Lowry, a switch hitter at the right side. Ooh, way in on him.
And we're going to bring you our Kubota power stats a little bit early because this is a good time to do it. As you mentioned, the double plays for Martin Perez, 68 ground ball double plays since 2016. Not only is that the most, but it is far and away the most double plays for Martin Perez. And I mentioned that ground ball rate, really good. You know, he's been in the top 10, but he has been the best easily when it comes to getting that ground ball. And the Rangers have been great at turning the double play.
This one lined out to right field. Mazzara is there. 2 gone.
How come he wasn't playing along with us right there, Martin Perez?
Yeah, what's up?
The Rangers defense will be delivered to you by Chicken Express this afternoon. Ryan Rua, Drew Robinson, and you just saw Nomar Mazzara in right field. Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrews, Odor Gallo in the infield. Juan Centeno getting a start today. Robinson Chirinos getting the day off. Had that little bit of a wrist issue. I don't think it's going to be too serious. He was sore today. There was a play at the plate. Joey Gallo threw the ball home. There was a tag play, and Robinson had dropped the baseball, but also looked like he was a little bit shaken up on the play, but nothing too serious. So Centeno will get the start this afternoon with Martin Perez on the mound.
Pinder off first base, and the initial offering to Chris Davis is taken for a strike.
If you remember a couple of starts ago when Cole Hamels pitched against the A's, we had talked about what he had done against Chris Davis. And as a lefty for Martin Perez, he certainly watches some of that video. You watch what you've done against him, but also other lefties. And Cole got himself in a little bit of trouble a couple of years ago when he left the ball out over the plate and Chris Davis hit a couple of home runs. Well, you saw the first pitch fastball was in. You saw that pitch right there was in, and that was part of the success plan for Cole Hamels with Chris Davis, which was throwing that fastball hard in, making him aware in, because he had been very good on pitches out over the plate against these lefties.
Now, easy to say right now, but I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
You know, move him off a little bit. Rangers have handled him well in this series, just 2 for 10 with a couple of walks. But now deal with the left-handed hitting Matt Olson. You don't have many opportunities in this lineup to see a lefty. In fact, this will be the only lefty he'll face.
I'm with you. I think it does make, listen, not intentional, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You don't like putting a guy in scoring position, and Olson is certainly a guy that can be a dangerous hitter. You see what he has done so far through 7 games. Good batting average, a home run, slightly higher than league average OPS. But what it could do for you, it opens up the outside part of the plate, especially if you try to get Chris Davis to expand the zone later. Martin Perez just showed him he's not afraid to throw in. You may need the outside part of the plate later in the game.
2 men out there. And that one looked good. Called strike, and it's 0-2 on Olson. And you saw Olson's numbers in this series. He's been awfully good, 5 for 11. But he's never had a hit off Martin Perez. Again, maybe worth observing, the only lefty on lefty that Perez will have today. 0-2. A little tapper foul. Pender had the base hit. Davis was hit by the pitch. Olson, the 5th hitter of the inning. And even though Perez is facing his 5th man already, the pitch count only at 16. The 0-2. This ball hit well. Mazzara going to range back, reaches up, and he makes the catch. So the inning is done, and the A's leave a pair. We go to the 2nd. A chance for Martin Perez to talk things over after that 1st inning today. Nicely done. Hey, Tuesday, April 10th, Rangers and Angels, and we're giving away on-deck Circle coaster sets to the first 15,000 fans to the ballpark, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. Adrian Beltre to lead things off here in the 2nd. Mengden with the unique windup, and then he finds the outside corner. It's a slow start so far to 2018 for Beltre. But you see 5 for 8 in his career against Mengden. So some comfort level there. And he hits this ball hard out into left field. That's a base hit. That one racing into the corner. Beltre's going to try for 2, and he'll have it easily. So a leadoff double in the 2nd for Beltre. A
good way to get it started here in the 2nd inning. Adrian Beltre gets a look at a fastball that's up and probably even out of the strike zone, but so quick with that bat, able to get on top of that pitch and line it hard into left field. Well, ball roll almost to the wall.
Puts Adrian now by himself as he passed Rod Carew. He tied Rod Carew the other night and now passes him today. Most hits all time by a Latin-born player. First pitch to Mazzara. Look out. Adrian now 3,054 hits in his soon-to-be Hall of Fame career. Mazzara is off to the very good start. In fact, consistently has been spot on to start this season. 2-0 the count. And he's asking for time with some rosin.
A curveball came out of Megden's hand at 70 miles an hour. It's a pretty good differential off a fastball that is sat right around 92, 22 miles an hour difference.
Good shift on for Mazzara. And he shoots this the other way, foul. So back to the conversation a moment ago, the all-time hit leaders. There you see Beltre passing Rod Carew with that double. And if he can get one more today, that would tie him with the great Rickey Henderson. There's Rickey. So we play today's game right here at Rickey Henderson Field.
You think he's aware?
I know he's aware. There is no question.
He was not happy when he saw Adrian Beltre hit that ball, and I say that in jest. Down the left field line, he's hoping Pinder would lay out and catch it, maybe.
Mazzara serves this one out into shallow left field. That will drop in. Beltre had to hold for a second and stops at third base, but Mazzara, it's the first hit he's ever had off Mengden.
When you're talking about that shift, we saw a foul ball to the left side and now a base hit to the left side. Nice job by Nomar Mazzara. And Adrian Beltre, you're right. You know, we're sitting here, we have the greatest view. We're like, oh, the ball's going to get down. Yeah. We can tell, but where Adrian is, he could not. And even for Tony Beasley, you want to make sure you play that safe. Don't run into any outs, especially with nobody out.
This Rangers offense it's had some trouble getting into a rhythm. Anything's going. And sometimes it's been the outs on the base paths that have been a problem. But a chance here for a pretty good inning as the first two men on, and Odor takes strike one. Rugi got the day off yesterday after 2 hits in Tuesday's game. Hoping he can build on what he did Tuesday night.
I think it made sense. Jurickson Profar got a start. Thought maybe there was a chance he was going to play again today, Profar, but he's on the bench.
Comebacker off Mengden and into no man's land. That will get a run home. So Odor with a base hit, and the Rangers lead it 1-0. And Mengden is hurt. Oh boy. It hit him, it struck him flush, but then he went after the baseball, which I guess gave you optimism that he was going to be all right, but this is not a good scene.
Well, he definitely looks like he is in some significant pain right now as the trainer is attending to that right leg of Daniel Mengden, and could look like maybe the inside part of the leg on the shin.
We got back on him in a hurry. I am often amazed at how guys are able to brush that off at least for a moment or two to, you know, make an attempt on a play. But boy, when that thing was done, he went down hard.
See, adrenaline, it's a reaction. So many players will tell you about it. It's almost as if you don't feel anything while the play is still happening. And so you try to, you know, react accordingly. Well, Mengden is up. He's limping a little bit, but he's going to probably try to throw a couple of pitches and maybe stay in this game. So watch Ruge here. This is 98 miles an hour off the bat. Megden really did not have much of a chance at all to get out of the way. Good swing from Rougned Odor as he takes this one right back up the box.
Well, he'll get a chance now to throw a couple and see if he can handle it. That was off the bat at 98 miles per hour.
So I would say almost no chance here if it was his landing leg, right? But it was his push-off leg, right? It was his right leg.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it
So
was. You're right.
I mean, listen, you need both of them, no doubt about it. But I would be more concerned about the landing leg than I would the push-off leg as far as his ability to tolerate the pain and then still be able to generate the same power. Wow. What's amazing?
Yeah.
Based on the reaction and based on where he is right now, I mean, I thought for sure he was out of this game and potentially might have broken a bone or something.
Yeah, I was looking down to their bullpen just to see who might be getting ready in a hurry, but pretty remarkable. So Megden stays in. A double, a single, and then that comebacker off of his leg. Rangers lead 1-0. Inning still going, and here's Ryan Rua. Rua showing bunt, so trying to test Megden right away and see how he reacts coming off that hill. That makes sense, and there's no unwritten rule against that, right? Just want to make sure. Anytime you bunt now, you got to go through a checklist of like 8 different things just to make sure it's appropriate. Corners are creeping in. And he's showing bunt again and drops it, and he is going to make Megden field it, and he does, and he throws it right off of Rua. Everybody continuing to run. Mazzara is in. Odor being waved all the way from first. He'll score, and Rua to third base. It is 3-0 Rangers. Wow.
Well, first and foremost, this was a tremendous bunt by Ryan Rua. He did a nice job of deadening the baseball, and it's a great sacrifice bunt. Watch it here, but that is perfect. See that ball just kind of die and stop right there. Luke Wright probably should have got that ball. Now, the other part of this is Stephen Piscotty is nowhere to be found. Let's watch him in right field. He's leaning a little bit, but he needs to be sprinting over there. In this ballpark, you can make no assumptions. There was so much room to cover, and he was just really late getting over there, which allowed Rougned Odor to ultimately score. See the breaking ball. It's a nice job by Ryan Rua. Watch this ball just kind of die right there. And it get thrown away. Good base running all the way around, too, by the Rangers.
Now, I've never caught a Major League game, and I haven't even stayed at a Holiday Inn Express in recent weeks.
What do you got?
But to me, under the circumstances, if you're Lucroy, you almost have to have in your mind that any bunt that actually gets laid down, A, I've got to be prepared for that to happen, and B, I've got to make it my ball.
Sure.
And that was closer to him.
No doubt. I mean, you think about ultimately where that ball was fielded, and I would agree with you. Jonathan Lucroy probably needs to take control there and take over on that play. Now, the only thing that might have gotten him was the spin on the ball, right? When you see it off the bat, there was so much backspin that the ball just died when it hit the grass, and maybe he thought it was going to bounce out a little bit further. But based on where that throw was made from, I would agree with you.
Infield pulled in, not all the way up on the edge of the grass, but in halfway or better all the way around on Drew Robinson. See Robinson at 273 for the year. What you don't see on there, his on-base percentage right now is .429. We've remarked a couple of times he's really given some pretty good at-bats early in this season. Swings and misses here. It's 1-2.
I think the other part of that play as well, I mean, listen, the timing of it is right. I am a fan of the sacrifice bunt, especially I think for the Rangers offense. Scuffled a little bit trying to get some things going here, putting some pressure on the defense. Like that as well.
Robinson hammers that one up the middle, base hit, and Rua scores easily. 4-0 Rangers on the Robinson single.
Great at bat by Drew Robinson as he got himself a hanging breaking ball with the infield in and drills it right back up the middle. Watch this pitch, how high it is up in the zone. After he took kind of a bad swing on a changeup previously, Megden probably did him a little bit of a favor on the breaking ball up in the zone. And you're right, Drew Robinson has done an excellent job taking advantage of that playing time that he is getting right now with Delino DeShields down.
Now Juan Centeno. First 5 men have reached in this second inning. And Centeno takes outside. Centeno only had the 4 at bats this season. This is 6th in the big leagues.
Tell you what, I wouldn't be opposed to another bunt here. Nobody out. Top of the order coming up. Centeno doesn't get the consistent playing time, so the idea of being in the flow as a hitter, it's a big challenge as a backup catcher. It always is. If you're playing once a week, the idea of trying to put up offensive numbers, it's difficult. It just is. And based on what we have seen so far and how the defense is positioned right now, especially on the third base side with Chapman back a little bit, there's an opportunity for Juan Centeno to make Megden feel the ball. Could get himself a base hit out of it.
Robinson off first, and they'll check in with him.
Especially after he threw that ball away.
Yeah.
It's in your mind as a pitcher. It just is. Now he should be able to make that play. As we see the 4 runs this inning, the most in any inning so far in the early part of the year for the Rangers. I love the idea of putting pressure on a guy whose legs probably throbbing a little bit right now, having a hard time, and has made an error.
1-1. Centeno takes strike 2.
Juan Centeno did not like that call as he looks back at home plate umpire Jim Wolf. Delicate balance when you are the catcher and arguing with an umpire. You certainly can't give him an earful, but you could casually, carefully put it in his ear. Are you sure?
Looked like Jim Wolf was getting it from somewhere else as he was gesturing over to the Rangers side. 1-2. And that's fouled away. Centeno 0 for 4 in the early going here. Double, 2 singles, a 3-base error, and another base hit. Rangers have plated 4 and not ready to take their foot off the gas against Daniel Megden.
Can you hear that?
Love it.
Is that a bell? What is that?
I think we had a little cowbell in there.
Cowbell? I didn't even notice.
Listen closely. Robinson off first. Pretty good lead. And that one almost got away, and Robinson able to scramble back in.
Well, here's the pitch down in the dirt. Nice job by Jonathan Lucroy to not only block it, but get it pretty cleanly. Drew Robinson having to hurry back, and he's in plenty of time. As a base runner, makes sense. You expect that ball to bounce away, right? Blocking the ball, you're not expecting the catcher to actually field it cleanly.
Yeah, it looked like it bounced right up into his bare hand.
And as much as Jonathan Lucroy would love to tell you he did that on purpose, he didn't. You're just trying to smother the baseball. We heard him talking on the radio pregame show here a couple of days ago, and he was talking about blocking balls, and he likes using the word absorbing those balls with your chest protector and just trying to basically soften it and keep that ball in front of you.
Two, Robinson running. The pitch is outside. The throw will skip, and it's in time to get Robinson for the first out of the inning.
Well, that is now 4 caught stealing against Jonathan Lucroy for the Texas Rangers. The fastball is down and away with a little bit of run. It was a short hop throw. Gosh, I wonder, I'll tell you what, they're going to ask for a replay. It looked like Drew Robinson may have gotten his hand in there, and that's where the short hop actually may have cost Jonathan Lucroy, because the tag looked like it went right in between the arms.
Yeah, and they are
Drew
going
Robinson.
They're going to challenge this one. Didn't take Jeff Bannister very long to come out and make that call. So this one's going back to New York for review. That's a good review too. I mean, you talk about what's happened in this inning and a chance to really put the pressure on. This is a big swing one way or the other.
No, I would agree, and it was a good call and a good idea. Even though Jonathan Lucroy has thrown the ball well, I like the idea of putting more pressure on the defense. Now, had that throw been in the air, we've seen Jonathan Lucroy make some really good throws this series. If it's in the air, they probably get him, and the short hop certainly helped Drew Robinson and gave him that opportunity.
Our replay review brought to you by North Texas Ford, and it does not go the Rangers' way. So,
wow,
caught stealing.
All right, let's take a look at the slow motion replay. There is his hand. He's safe right there, is he not? Oh no, okay, he's not there yet. Now he's there. See,
I cannot tell, and that's the problem.
From there. There we go. This might be a good one here.
Centeno, meanwhile, will send the next one out to center field, and ranging to his left, Samolinski makes a nice play.
Now let's see the end of this one. Oh yeah, they might have got him there a little bit. That's probably a good call.
So you go from 4 runs in and a man on with nobody out, and in the span of 2 pitches, suddenly the bases are empty, 2 gone, and the top of the order here is Shin-Soo Choo.
It's good contact from Centeno. Mentioned, of course, a lack of consistent playing time can be a challenge offensively. It's a good first at bat. Worked 7 pitches and hit the ball hard.
Choo grounded out in the first. Big looping curve, never quite came down. 2-0. Choo's on base coming into today's game was at 400. That's really good. He fouls this one away. 2-1 the count. Pretty much the everyday leadoff man now for the Rangers, while we wait for Delano DeShields to rehab from his hand surgery. Hand surgery on Monday to remove the hamate bone. And now a handful of weeks before he'll be back. Choo with a bouncer first base side, but foul. One off his foot. Seemed to be some conversation at the plate. A little confusion. Lucroy, Choo, and Jim Wolf. We're going foul.
Oh, back and forth there. Former teammates. I said, come on, man, I know that didn't hit your foot. I said, absolutely hit my foot.
Mangden's 2-2. It was definitely foul.
Definitely.
Mangden grew up in Houston, went to Texas A&M, and he went to Texas A&M as a catcher. Amazing how baseball careers evolve. This one grounded out towards short right field, and that will do it. But a 4-run second inning for the Rangers, and it started with the captain, Adrian Beltre, with his double. 2-0 lead. Adrian Beltre with a big hit, historic hit for him last inning. And Martin Perez has already put up 1 goose egg today. And I'm sure, you know, just getting that first inning under his belt, a bit of a relief. A relief that only soothed more by the fact that his team just gave him 4 runs. Matt Chapman, 6th place hitter, takes a strike. It's 1-1. Great start to the year for Chapman. 385 average. And takes strike 2.
We saw him yesterday make a couple of really nice defensive plays. Matt Chapman. So having a nice series and a guy that the A's are certainly excited about. Future leader in that clubhouse they talk about as well. They got a good player.
Liner over second and into center field, and well, he smoked that one. Well, Chapman on to begin the 2nd inning.
That's a good approach against a left-handed pitcher. That ball was up and away. You'll see Matt Chapman, short, flat swing, level swing. And amazing that this was just over the head of Ruben Odor, but he had no chance of getting it. 108 miles an hour for Matt Chapman on that base hit. Well, let's see now. Second opportunity for Martin Perez to get that ground ball. And this is a good candidate in Jonathan Lucroy. Guy who hits, starting going back to the beginning of last year, 53% ground balls. League average is 44. So good ground ball candidate. Of all the active A's, he has the highest ground ball rate of any hitter. So we'll see if Martin Perez can work his magic.
Well, Andrews and Odor set up for it, pinching the bag a little bit up the middle. In a couple of steps.
One thing you worry about is he will slap that ball to right field a little bit once in a while. We saw it last year, so there's a little bit of a hole because the middle infielders are pinched. Joey Gallo, of course, is holding Chapman on. He's going to have to get off the bag pretty quickly in case Lucroy does try to hit one in that hole.
Two and two.
This is a stat that we've heard a lot about when we talk about ground ball percentage. It's become more and more important. Percentage of batted balls that ultimately result in a ground ball. And you can look at it from both the pitcher side, which that is right there. I mentioned league average right around 44, 45%. The Rangers were right around league average. But you also look at it from a hitter standpoint. When you think about how are you going to set up your shift, your defensive positioning, all of it.
Well, there's strike 3 called, and Lucroy turns around and heads to the dugout. First strikeout for Martin Perez.
And a good one. Martin Perez really caught Jonathan Lucroy off guard as he went in, up and in, right on the block with the fastball. And Lucroy was looking out over the plate. I mentioned we saw him enough last year to know about his approach. When he gets it 2 strikes, try to put that ball in play and hit it the other way. Well, difficult to do when you put a fastball where Martin Perez just did.
One gone. Here is Stephen Piscotty, and he takes strike 1. Piscotty got the day off yesterday, and you could argue that he really needed it. Maybe a mental health day as much as anything. First couple of games of this series were really tough on the A's right-handed hitter.
We saw what his first 5 plate appearances, 4 strikeouts. Each of those came on 3 pitches, and then a 1-pitch double play.
Yeah.
And again, obviously, he is a good double play candidate as well. Ground ball rate of 50%.
He's already hitting 2 double plays in this series. 1-1. Little tight. So Martin Perez now at 29 pitches. Fairly reasonable so far. Piscotty had started every game in right field before taking last night off. Back there again today. And he got off to a decent start just had no success those first 2 games here. Now the pitch, and this one lined, and Odor gets it on a hop to second, under first for the double play, as ordered. 4-6-3, and the inning is done.
Well, what a play by Rougned Odor. His ball was hit hard as he goes to his right off the bat of Stephen Piscotty, and a perfect flip underhand to Elvis Andrews for the double play. And Martin Perez in the middle infield doing it once again.
Join us for a little baseball this afternoon. Brugge getting it done defensively, and now to the third, a 4-0 Rangers lead. Megden comes back out again. He'll deal with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this third inning. Gallo popped up in the first on the one pitch he saw. There's a head here, 2-0. Rangers got 4 runs in the second inning on 4 hits, the biggest offensive inning they have had here in the first week and change of the regular season. It's 2-1. So Megden, we joke about the facial hair, that fantastic handlebar mustache, you know, reminiscent of the great Raleigh Fingers, who was such a big part of this franchise's history. Not built like Raleigh. Raleigh was a little bigger, taller guy. High fly ball out to left field. Playable for Pender. One away.
We want to take a look at this double play and the really nice defensive effort from Rougned Odor. As you see him diving, kind of funny watching as he continued to look out in left field as that was happening, but he was coming off the field and he was looking at his hand, his right hand, when he dove a little bit, maybe fingernail, and then when he got in the dugout, and he was sitting there, we just showed him a little while ago talking to his teammates, and might have scraped his finger there a little bit on that dive. It's been a good start to this game so far, though, for Rougned Odor. The big base hit off the leg of Daniel Megden, and back up the middle, and then a really nice defensive play for that double play, which then can, you know, which he doesn't want to hear, justify the day off yesterday, right? We know Rougned Odor wants to play every single day, as a lot of guys on this team do, and you love that. And you want everybody on your team to want to play every day. He gets the day off, and he gets off to a really nice start here so far this afternoon.
One and one to Elvis Andrews. Off the plate. Well, that's, you know, a big part of the job when you're the manager is you know, giving a guy like Odor the day off, finding A, the right spot, B, making it palatable to everybody involved, and, you know, helping keeping that mindset sharp. And so, however he handled it with Ruge appears to have worked. 2-2 now on Andrews. And there was a great article yesterday on The Athletic by Ken Rosenthal about Banny and his evolution as a manager. And I guess, you know, the self-evaluation and responsibility he's taking for the job that he has done here. The 2-2, sweet, and a miss, and Andrews strikes out for out number 2. And that went into even greater detail today. There's Banny, because today I had to deliver some difficult news to Jose Leclerc. Had to tell Leclerc after an excellent outing last night that he was being optioned out. And, you know, we got a lot of questions about that today, and we had a really good point. He's like, well, sometimes it's how that news is delivered. He says, you know, it's also, it's a mix, right? You can deliver it one way, how's it received? But, you know, the takeaway was that Leclerc understood what was going on, and that Banny helped him understand that it had nothing to do with the way he has pitched, because Leclerc has done a really good job.
No, he certainly has, and the Rangers are in a good spot from a competitive standpoint, from a fan standpoint, right? There are certain years where you're looking around saying, gosh, who can we bring up? Who can we activate? Well, right now, they're a little bit overloaded with some guys with some track records that can help this team on the pitching staff. And so what that means is some guys that are performing end up getting left out. And so Jose Leclerc, who did a fantastic job getting out of that bases loaded, nobody out situation last night, unfortunately, is kind of the odd man out right now. And Bartolo Colon is staying. He did a great job.
Yeah, and Bart said
out today.
He said today that he's available out of the bullpen if needed. 1-2. This one fouled over to the right side. Colon pitched 2 days ago, did quite well, as you can see right there. And today told Banny, look, if you need me, I'm in the pen. I can give you an inning or two.
There's nobody like Bartolo Colon.
Nope. Mengden's 1-2. Bouncer third base. Chapman right there. He's been true this entire series and takes care of Beltre to win the inning. We've played 2.5. Rangers with the early lead. All right, thanks, Rick. Here it's a 4-0 game. Good things going at the bottom of the third. Jake Smolinski leading it off. He's a 9th place hitter, and then back up top for Semien and Pinder. 2-0 the count. Final game in a 4-game series. It's the first time in franchise history that the Rangers have opened the season with back-to-back 4-game series. They had 4 against Houston at home, 4 here on the road against the A's. And it is unusual when you get a 4-game series during the course of a season. It happens. Back-to-back is sort of strange. Chopper to shortstop. Andrews takes care of Smolinski, 1 away. A good beginning for Martin Perez. He's gotten the 1 ground ball double play. As a strikeout, he's kept the pitch count relatively in check. So we're now 1 time through the lineup, and here is Semien, who grounded out his first time up, and he takes strike 1. Just like that, it's an 0-2 hole for Semien.
Yeah, slow start here for Marcus Semien, especially in regard to the strikeout. 12 strikeouts for him so far to just 3 walks. And Martin Perez not a huge strikeout pitcher, as we know. Pitches to contact. We showed those numbers the other night. 3 Rangers near the top in contact rate over the last few years. Bartolo Colon, Doug Fister, and Martin Perez. All guys that rely heavily on the defense, and there's Big Bart. The Rangers defense showing you what they can do last inning with that great double play.
Fly ball out to center field, and that one drops in. Not hit real hard, and Semien is aboard. Well, I invite you to enjoy your next Rangers game in the comfort of a climate-controlled suite. Most suite rental packages include parking and a food and beverage package. Go to TexasRangers.com/suites or call 972-RANGERS. They're standing by the phones as we speak. Well, man on now for Chad Pinder. Pinder had the base hit in the first inning. In fact, has 3 hits in this series and somewhat limited time. Semien with a lead over at first, and well, that was a good quick move. Well, not much movement at all there from Martin Perez.
No, very quiet and a low leg kick as well. You have a variety of different moves and different options. As a lefty, sometimes call your B and your C move, then your quick move, your A move where you're trying to sell it as a pitch. Well, there Martin Perez was just trying to be fast. He'd have 1 pickoff a year ago, 5 over the course of his career. It's 119 games pitched.
Well, had Semien leaning back as he delivered that pitch.
And that's the value. It is not all just about the pickoffs, although we love when you have those. It's about making that runner uncomfortable, even if he's not stealing a slower jump. Much harder to advance on a base hit if he's thinking about going to first or third. All of those things come into play. So some guys will think, well, I just don't have a good move. I'm not going to be able to pick a guy off. It's not what it's all about. That's a nice benefit, but it's also giving that base runner pause. Having him losing a little bit of confidence, unsure whether or not you're coming over or not, especially for lefties.
Perez done a great job here battling back from 3-0 to a full count on Pinder. 1 out in the inning. He already has the 1 double play. See if you can get Pinder to give him another. payoff. And it's flared over to the right side, foul and out of play. So a getaway day today for the Rangers. They'll be excited to get back home after this one tonight. Big homestand with Toronto, and then the Angels. 6 games in 6 days, and then the Rangers at long last will get an off day. 3-2. Ground ball, just foul. Wow. That was trouble.
Tell you what, that is about as close gets. On a ground ball, Martin Perez was pitching Pinder in, and has been pounding him in through this at bat, but that is a strike.
Another chance at the 3-2, and a ground ball this time through and into left field. A pretty good battle between those two guys right there on both sides. Pinder ends up with a base hit. 2 men on for Oakland.
Now 8 pitches when it was all said and done for Chad Pinder against Martin Perez. Martin tried to go in one last time, and that fastball at 94 miles an hour. Pinder was able to hit it in between Adrian and Elvis. Nobody has a shot at that.
So Simeon out at second, Pinder at first. Now Jet Lowry, who is 0 for 1. Lowry, another guy who hits in his fair share rather of double plays. But he lifts this one in the air out to right center field. Long run out there. That one is off the fence. Robinson will hustle it back in. Simeon is in. They won't send Pinder. Lowry doubled home the first run of the game for Oakland. It's a 4-1 game.
We've seen Jed Lowry drive a couple of balls in this series, and this is another one. Not a terrible pitch from Martin Perez, but nobody was going to have a chance to catch this as Drew Robinson plays it off the wall perfectly. It was a first pitch changeup from Martin. It's a pretty good swing on a first pitch changeup from Jed Lowry.
So the A's break through, and now the dangerous Chris Davis. And this is an interesting spot. We're early in the game, but I don't know how aggressive you want to be against him right here. Davis swings and drives this one high in the air to center, but not going to carry for him. Second out of the inning. Pinder, though, able to tag. He'll score on the deep sac fly, and it's a 4-2 game. Well, the reason I said that is because, number one, Davis has made a habit of doing big things against the Rangers in his career, but the other thing is first base empty. He has huge career numbers against Martin Perez, numbers that wouldn't make you real comfortable. 8 for 17 with 2 homers.
No, I'm with you. You want to be very careful. It's a good matchup for Chris Davis against lefties, and the other part of that is that you have Olsen on deck, right? So it makes you think about that a little bit. Do you want to be careful? Don't give him a chance to drive the run in. Now Olsen in his first at bat did hit the ball pretty hard, and he's swinging a pretty good bat. But check out Martin Perez versus left-handers from 2014 to 2016. He crushed it. 199 batting average against. To see the other numbers there. Well, last year creeped up on him a little bit. 264 against lefties.
That one will be handled in left field by Rua. And the inning is done. The A's will have to settle for 2. So we head to the 4th inning. The Rangers nursing a 2-run lead.
Man right there, Nomar Mazar, the right fielder for the Texas Rangers, a .379 average and a .917 OPS. He is in a current 8-game hit streak against these Oakland A's. So Nomar Mazar certainly getting himself some good at-bats. He got a base hit back in the 2nd inning, but has done a nice job. Take those numbers all day long over the course of that 8-game hitting streak against these A's.
One strike pitch. Leaving it up, 1-1. Mengden out for a 4th inning. Got hit hard in the 2nd. And it looked like it might be a short day for him, but he stays right in there. High pop up, short left. Chapman is out. One away. Brings up Rougned Odor, and we check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, you know, Rugi with a day off yesterday, not happy about it. Of course, he wants to be in the lineup every day. But if you think about it, coming off that 2-hit performance he had on Tuesday night might be the perfect time. So you sit a guy down, give him a day's rest when he feels good about himself, when he feels like he's putting it together. So there's two sides to that. The player thinks, I want to ride the momentum, but also, too, the manager might think, you know, you want him to go in feeling good rather than feel like he's being punished for not having, you know, hit in the last couple of games.
That's a great point, and it's a really tough spot to be in for a manager when you're trying to keep your guys happy, you're trying to keep your full roster performing, and so that means giving certain guys some days off and trying to pick those spots. Now you look at pitching matchups, that's one way you certainly will do it, but it worked out well. Rougned Odor did get a couple of hits. I think, you know, as we watch him and kind of getting to know that personality a little bit, I'd much rather give Rougned Odor a day off after he swung the bat well, as opposed to where if he had, you know, 0 for 4, 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts, and you're stressed out, you want to get back in there, and when you have a bad day, have a bad game, whether you're a pitcher or a hitter, the idea of waiting an extra day that maybe you weren't banking on to try to get back in there and perform, it's tough. It'll stress you out.
High fly ball, center field. Smolinski. 2 gone. Well, now a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
We're so confident in our new car pricing that if I can't beat a new car Kia deal in Texas, I'm just going to give it to you.
Well, since Robinson was thrown out attempting a steal of second base, the Rangers have not had a base runner. That was in the 2nd inning. Mengden, it's like that really turned the game for him.
I guess it helped a little bit with the momentum. You mentioned how hard he was hit both the Rangers bats and then that batted ball that caught him in the leg as well. We wondered if he was done after that moment, but he has gotten locked back in after Rougned Odor hit that hard ground ball off of his push-off leg, that right leg. He's hung in there.
Rua probably delivered the play of the game to this point. That was the bunt right after that ball caromed off of Mengden. And Mengden came all the way down to make the play, threw it away for a 3-base error. It allowed 2 runners to score. That was a huge play. 1-2 the count. Well, on the one hand, that seemed like that might be the knockout blow of sorts. It was after that play that things have changed a little bit. Ooh, wow. 1-2. Drew Robinson waiting in the on-deck circle off to the right of home plate, and that one buzzed his tower a little bit. Rua 2 for 19 now to start the year. So a slow start at the plate for him. pretty much the everyday left fielder. 1-2, swinging and a miss, strike 3. So Megnan puts back-to-back 1-2-3 innings together. And now we go to the bottom of the 4th with the Rangers up by 2. And it might be outside by the food trucks here at the Coliseum. A lot of folks hanging out there today.
That plaza's a great spot. Little AstroTurf. Hang out. You can play some cornhole while you eat your burrito or work your burrito off a little bit. Or maybe you like a Korean bowl from Seoul Street.
Tell you what, I do. I like both
Yes,
those ideas.
There was a cupcake truck out there, and you said you were hoping to take off the 5th inning. Slide back down. Just a little red velvet cupcake.
Yeah, that's on the list. Matt Chapman had the base hit in the 2nd inning. Leads off here at the bottom of the 4th, and Martin Perez steals low. 1-2. Perez good so far. Did get nicked up for a couple of runs last inning. 2-2 the count. His first start of the year. Pushed back just a little bit coming out of spring training. The odd injury in the offseason right around the holidays, where working on his ranch down in Venezuela was startled by a bull, knocked down, and broke the elbow on his right arm. So doesn't really affect his throwing arm, but it did delay him getting started a little bit this year. Bouncer shortstop Andrews with a good play, and that is out number 1. Hey, this Sunday, that's April 8th, it's a 2:05 start. Rangers and Blue Jays, final game of that series. First 7,500 fans 13 and under are going to get a Rangers pocket tee courtesy of Dasani. You can get your tickets at texasrangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. One down now for Jonathan Lucroy, and he takes a strike. Next pitch, ground ball, and that one threw into left field. So Lucroy's first hit of the day. Another base runner for Oakland. They have had runners on in every inning.
You see this pitch from Martin Perez. It was down, but came back over the plate a little bit more than he wanted it, trying to shoot away as Lucroy puts a good swing on that ball and gets himself that base hit, but Stephen Piscotty is up. And he hit into that double play back in 2nd inning. What'd you mention? That was a third one for him this series, and
a bouncer short. Andrews to second. Odor will settle for the one out. And it looks like Odor may have tweaked something covering the bag.
Well, he did the first baseman stretch. What you want to do as a middle infielder, once you decide that you're not going to try to turn that double play, then you treat second base like a first baseman. See him hobbling around there a little bit as Kevin Harmon comes out to check on him. Let's take a look at the replay here on this ground ball. Too far to Elvis's right to be able to get the double play, so just a good job of fielding that ball. And you see Odor with the first baseman type stretch, but it looked like maybe, let's see if it's a left hamstring or groin that he felt a little tweak on. It's Elvis's right. He went to get that ball, but you see the long stretch. Joey Gallo says, leave the first base long stretching to me. I'll take care of that. Gallo, pretty incredible. We see him almost doing splits over there at first base sometimes, but it seems like Rougned Odor is okay.
All right, that's good news. Something we'll keep our eyes on here is now Jake Smolinski, who is 0 for 1. Another right-handed hitter. They loaded it with righties today against Martin. Tight, 1-1.
Yeah, even though we showed you those lefties numbers last inning and how they had gone up on Martin Perez last year, 264 batting average against. The previous 3 years it was 199, but you break that down a little bit more. The first half of the season last year for Martin Perez, lefties hit 343 against him, but from July 1st on, just 195, and back to those kind of career norms that we've seen for him, which have been excellent against lefties. And so the A's are certainly aware of that, and so Olson the only lefty in there. Righties last year, 310 versus Martin Perez, and 21 home runs out of the 23 that he allowed came off of the bats of right-handed hitters.
That ball ripped into left field. Base hit for Smolinski. Scotty stops at second base.
This ball was pretty well struck by Smolinski. You see the fastball up over the plate. Pretty loud coming off of his bat, but just a single with 2 outs. And so opportunity for Martin Perez to get himself out of this. 103 miles per hour. That's how hard Jake Smolinski hit that baseball.
Marcus Semion's 1 for 2. Lifts this one out to left field. Rua right there. And the inning is done. The A's leave 2 more, and we go to the 5th. like this.
I would not have liked it at all. Opening day at Target Field, and there is James Paxton, pitcher for the
Hang with him.
Seattle Mariners. And he got a little taste of, I mean, listen, it's cool and all, but that wasn't playing. It wasn't like you were like, oh, hey, can I touch your bald eagle? And someone brings it over and you're ready for it. You're actually just sitting there getting ready to make a start. And the next thing you know, there's a bald eagle trying to take you down. Hasn't affected Paxton, though, so far, an inning and 2/3. And no hits, no runs, or one hit, no runs. But that would have, yeah,
That would shake you
scared
up a
me.
little bit, wouldn't it?
Shake me up, without a doubt.
Robinson's second at bat of the day. And the RBI single in the second inning. Part of that 4-run second inning for the Rangers. And hits this ball in the air, left side of the infield, though. Like we've called Chapman's name a lot in this series. Taking a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Headed home after this one today. For 3 against the Blue Jays this weekend, and then 3 against the Angels beginning Monday night. Sunday's game will be on Fox Sports Southwest Plus. Everything else on the mothership here. And back to the road again. One away. Centeno 0 for 1. Had a good at bat in the second inning. A lengthy battle with Mengden. And hits this one high in the air out to right field. Piscotty goes back but appears to have room, and he does. 2 away. Now Mengden continues to hang in there, and again I go back to that moment in the second inning, the caught stealing. Since that point has retired everybody he has faced.
10 straight, is that right? I believe it is 10.
6,
yeah,
10
because
straight.
Centeno was the first. It was the last, and you see the pitch count as well. Really just that second inning, those 27 pitches. Look what he's done the rest of the game. It's been good.
Third time through now is Chu, 0 for 2. Swings and misses at strike 1. Shift on for Chu. He thought about it. I mean, that left side of the infield's wide open. Even as I say that, Chapman beginning to adjust a little bit over there.
See if the Rangers can take advantage. You mentioned third time through, a little bit of an issue for Daniel Mengden over the course of his career. It's been a short career, but third time through the order, a .324 batting average against, .919 OPS. So there has been significant damage done to him in these spots over the 22 starts that he has made in his career.
Ground ball up the middle. But Lowry, the second baseman, positioned about where you would expect him, and he makes the play. The inning is done, and Mengden continues to cruise as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
The Rangers leading the A's 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th, and Martin Perez back out on the hill for the Rangers. And we've talked about the younger guys gravitating toward Bartolo Colon. Martin Perez in particular, one of those guys. I asked Martin what it was about that relationship that seemed to click from the beginning. He said, I don't know what it is, but Bartolo likes to talk to me. He said, I pick his brain about the two-seam fastball, about everything in general, life, baseball. He said he's just a wealth of knowledge for me to soak up, and I'm grateful that he chose me to be chatty with, he said.
Fly ball out to center field. One down here in the 5th inning. Yeah, it's a good relationship, and it has been cited by more than one down in that Rangers clubhouse as an important one. They feel like the influence has been a very good one for Martin.
Yep, and a guy in Bartolo Colon that and no doubt had his mentors along the way. And I mean, the amount of experience, the things that he has experienced over the course of his career, I mean, it's just hard to match. You just don't run across that every day. And you know, the great part about it is where he is with his stuff. He's not an overpowering guy. Doesn't light up the radar gun by any means, but yet he still is a very competitive major league pitcher, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that as well.
Right, anytime you talk about Bartolo Colon, at least these days, it's about how he pitches hitters. You know, he was a guy who had a big arm when he came up. Doesn't have that anymore, and he's learned how to manage his stuff in a way that still makes him successful. And part of what he's passed on to Martin Perez is, I guess, the guts to come in on guys, use both sides of the plate. It's a little chopper third. And Davis retired for the 2nd out of the inning.
And I really do believe that while, yes, the conversations about the two-seam fastball and those kinds of things in particular about pitching are no doubt useful, those are fun, but it's the mental aspect that, you know, we were joking about it the other night during his start, that he just seems to really have mastered, which is zero emotion. Like, nothing's going to bother him. He has a game plan. He's going to throw a lot of fastballs. He's going to throw a lot of strikes. And if he's missing with location, he's susceptible to giving up a lot of runs and things going sideways. And he doesn't react to it. You just don't see it. So whether he's working on a no-hitter or he just gave up 5 runs, you wouldn't know by watching him.
Well, tapper up the middle. And Andrews positioned perfectly. That's a quick bottom of the 5th inning for Martin Perez. Looking good through 5. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by your local GMC dealer. All right, here come the Rangers now. The top of the 6th inning, 2, 3, and 4 hitters due. Joey Gallo, Elvis Andrus, and Adrian Beltre. Once again against Daniel Mengden.
All right, trivia time. It's going to be an easy one.
All righty.
It's a two-parter. Who's leading the major leagues in launch angle?
in launch angle.
For batted balls, minimum 10 batted balls this year.
I'll say Joey.
Joey Gallo is correct. Within 2 degrees. What do you think?
His average
launch angle is right now. It is the highest in the big leagues.
Okay, 1 strike pitch. There's a swing, and that ball on a line out to center field. Coming in for it, Smolinski into a slide. 1 away. I will go with something in the 40s. I'll say the 43 degrees.
31.7 degrees.
Oh, wow.
I mean, every batted ball, right? So the ground outs, which I've always wondered, should they not be negative?
A ground ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be to me.
Should be a negative launch angle. I don't know if that's the case, though. Not to look. But anyway.
It's interesting because it's definitely.
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
You would think. But I always wonder, too, is it the angle of the bat in which it makes contact with the ball, that it's kind of going, whatever direction the bat's going in, how level your swing is, or is it strictly perpendicular to the earth, to the ground? And that's where you're making the measurement from, right?
Yeah.
Right. So think
that's
about it.
That's what I would imagine.
Imagine if you're swinging up. Like, let's say you're taking a 45-degree swing, which would be a bad swing. But let's just say your bat was coming up at 45 degrees and you hit the ball perfectly square. If it was 0 degrees off the bat, but 45 degrees in the air, right?
Right. To me, that I'm assuming that is a 45-degree launch angle.
Should be. So off the ground. So which would mean ground balls, which should be
negative.
Negative. If you were swinging down on the ball and chopping the ball, if they were actually measured off the angle of the bat, that's why I think it can get a little bit confusing, and it's definitely useful. Maybe not to the degree that everybody would like you to think that it is. The point is, like, it's not surprising because Joey Gallo just hits some monster fly balls. I'm with you. I thought would have been higher, but I guess the ground balls, the line drives.
Right. That's, I guess, that's the trick. Well, listen here, Mr. Fancy Science Guy. Go to your little thing and see who's got the lowest launch angle. Maybe it's negative, which would answer our question.
All right.
There's got to be somebody who's hitting predominantly ground balls.
All right. Here's your guy.
Andrews shoots it foul. Whoa. Nice job down there in front of the Rangers bullpen.
Got to be good down there. Otherwise, not only is it important because you have to protect the bullpen, but if you botch a play, you are going to hear about it. Not the rest of the inning or the rest of the day, the entire series, and then maybe next time the Rangers come back. So you see the smiles down there. They certainly appreciate it. Well, Colton Wong averaging negative 11 degrees so far this season.
There you go. Ground ball down the third baseline by Andrews, and that one trickling down into the left field corner. Elvis to second base with a one-out double in the 6th inning.
Mystery solved. Good job by Elvis here. First hit of the afternoon on a breaking ball. It ended up being up and in, and we mentioned this earlier about Mengden's curveball today. He seems like he's had a hard time getting it down consistently. He's left quite a few up in the zone this afternoon, and Elvis with the glasses on doesn't miss that one.
Negative launch angle, but for a
positive result.
That's right. Here's Beltre. 1 for 2. Adrian looking for at least one more hit today to tie him with Ricky Henderson on the all-time hit list.
Oh, Ricky is sitting in that right now, that A's dugout.
Pretty cool to do it at Ricky Henderson Field.
Oh, man, come on. We got to have it.
Another good pickoff back there at second. Andrews saw it coming. Then once he gets the hit, he can tear the base out of the ground and declare himself
I am
the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time. Such an awesome moment. There was a few more people here that day.
Yeah. Although this is the biggest crowd that we've had in this series, 10,132. The announced attendance today. We have 2 crowds in the 7,000s in this series.
We sure did. Is it more surprising that the biggest crowd came on a Thursday afternoon?
I don't know what to make of it.
Neither do I. But you could tell without a doubt. More people here today. Pleasant afternoon in Oakland.
It is. I will say this. I had a buddy of mine come to the game the other night with his kids, and his kids were out for spring break.
Oh.
So maybe the day game today plays into the hands of the family outing a little more.
Or the get out of the house, my kids are driving me crazy during spring break.
That's
Outing.
another angle.
And they have that section here that they were telling us about last night. The pay what you want to pay section for charity.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting idea.
Minimum $1, but all proceeds from the ticket sales in that one section, they go to charity. Andrews with another good lead. That one wide of the plate. 2-0 to Beltre. Elvis has provided quite the distraction this inning for Daniel Mengden. And there is activity out on the A's pen now too, so Mengden might be bumping up on the end of his day. Three and 0.
So it's section 322 here in Oakland as we see some action in that bullpen with the lefty Coulomb getting ready.
And that's Danny Coulomb now,
That's right.
right?
But all the money going to charity, pretty cool idea for the A's. They've done a lot of community impacting events that they've taken on. Certainly a smart move on their part. So what would you pay?
That's a great question. I probably wouldn't sit there. I'd probably just buy a real ticket.
Yeah. Big time Dave Rayno.
I mean, there are plenty of good seats available, if I may. It's not like you couldn't just find another section of interest to you.
Yep.
I mean, 322, right? You're it's a little up there.
Yep. A couple of guys up there today, this afternoon.
All right, 3-1 pitch. That is outside. Beltre accepts the walk.
There's 322.
Oh, yes.
You know, maybe those guys could get together, get to know each other a little bit, have a conversation. Just seems like they're on the same page. They're in it for charity.
That's right. Mengden is done, so that's it. Bob Melvin takes the baseball, and we will see Danny Coulomb when we come back. Oh, a beauty going.
David Price was good today. That's a big deal for the Boston Red Sox. An off year for him a year ago. He threw 7 shutout in that game.
Well, here Danny Coulombe is checked in now for Oakland.
That Coulombe guy's got a fastball that sits around 91, throws a slider, throws a curveball as well. And going back to last year, very respectable numbers against lefties. .211 batting average against.
Gets ahead of Mazara 0-1. You see Nomar has done an outstanding job lately. Obviously feeling good up there at the plate right now.
Do you think there was any chance that Ricky Henderson was walking around the clubhouse today, or maybe even the last couple of days, saying, none of you guys better let Adrian Beltre pass me while I'm here, while they're here? I know he's going to pass me sooner or later.
Yep. I think there's probably a better than average chance. Yes. He was here last year when we came through town to see Adrian, and came over to the clubhouse, and quite honestly, it was a quick acknowledgement of Adrian, and then a lot of trash talk. I think Darren Oliver was with us on the trip, and he got going with Darren. Yeah, he still got the edge. Runner goes from second to third, and the throw from Lucroy in time, and yet another caught stealing in this series for Lucroy. Elvis out by a mile.
Yeah, this one was not even close, as Elvis did not get the jump that he was expecting he was going to get, or maybe he was anticipating. Well, you know, the jump wasn't terrible. He had a little bit of a pause in there. Did you see that? He took off, or started to take off and then stopped and started again. That probably is what caused Jonathan Lucroy to have that opportunity to throw Elvis out by as much as he did. That's amazing. 4 times this series.
Yeah.
Jonathan Lucroy threw out only 14 runners all of last season. Excuse me, 16 runners all of last season. So far this series, he's now, that's 5.
That's 2 today.
That's right, 2 today and the 3 the other night.
Yep. Well, a big shift for Mazara. And he'll hit into it. Shortstop Simeon right there, and throws him out. So the inning is done. Yeah, frustrating one for the Rangers. To the bottom of the 6th we go in a 2-run game.
And in his first start of 2018, getting those ground balls, really nice play by Rougned to get that double play. And then we saw last inning a couple of really weak ground balls induced by Martin Perez as he keeps that fastball down. And when Martin Perez is going, that is what he is doing. There's another ground ball, but unfortunately that one gets through for a base hit here to kick off the 6th inning.
Chapman with his 2nd hit of the afternoon, so he is on for the bottom of the order here.
We'll take a look at this pitch from Martin. Just mentioned his ability to keep the ball down, and that one's down a little bit. Came back, I should say, over the plate.
Well, Chapman with the 2 hits today, 7-game hitting streak for him. Jonathan Lucroy, and this one lifted out to short right field. Mazzara right there. All right, looking at the Rangers bullpen, Kevin Jepson getting set out there. He's been busy this first week and change of the regular season.
We saw Jonathan Lucroy going after that first pitch. The Ace this afternoon, 3 for 9. And they go after the first pitch. He did on that base hit for Chapman, but then also for Jonathan Lucroy on the pop out. And we know this guy's not afraid to swing at the first pitch. Could have been an opportunity with Martin Perez and his ability to get those double plays. Could have been a 3-pitch inning with a base hit in there. And that's not something you see every day.
Piscotty just missed hitting into a double play his last time up in the 4th. He hit into a double play in the 2nd. He's hit into 3 double plays in this series alone. When I say he just missed it in the 4th inning, that was the one where Rugi was stretching at second base, tweaked something, and didn't offer the throw back to first.
Well, the ground ball was probably a little bit too far in the hole for Elvis Andrus, and so they were just trying to get the 1 out. But you're right, if that ball had been a few more feet to the right, or to our right, very easily could have been a double play.
Chapman edges off the bag at first. And a ground ball in the hole, and that one off of Beltre's glove. Heading to third base. Oh, the ball dropped out and left. They had a shot at Chapman, but Rua had the ball slip out of his hand and could not offer a throw. So they're on the corners with 1 out now.
That just really gives you an idea about how this game is literally just a game of inches. You mentioned it earlier, the near double play on the ground ball to Elvis Andrus in Piscotty's last at bat, and now this one, ground ball hit to Elvis Andrus, and it was a good pitch and well located. Ground ball to Adrian Beltre as he goes to his left, but it's just out of his reach. I don't know if they would have had a play here or not on Chapman, but nevertheless, it's a base hit. It is 1st and 3rd, and Martin Perez's day is over.
So Perez done, and it's going to be up to Kevin Jepson to get him out of the mess.
Jepsen last pitch in the first game of this series as we see Martin Perez's day over. 10 base hits. Those added up pretty quickly. 7 ground ball outs for him in 5 1/3. No walks, certainly a good sign in the 1 strikeout. I got to tell you, this 10 hits, it's kind of shocking when you look up there and see it. It didn't feel like that's what was going on here with the A's, with some ground balls that were getting through as Matt Joyce steps in to pinch hit for Jake Smolinski.
So it's Chapman at third, Piscotty at first, 1 out. Jepsen, a little bit high. Ball 1 to Matt Joyce.
There are the numbers for Jepsen so far. Game number 5 for him. Talked a lot about his story, not pitching at all in the big leagues last year. That's pitched in 452 games in his big league career. The lefty-righty splits. Not surprising that they went to a pinch hitter. Bob Melvin making that decision, the manager of the A's. 276 batting average against lefties over the course of his career. Drops 40 points, 42 points against righties. 234 for righties, and those lefties got a much higher OPS. 23 home runs to lefties, 10 to righties in his career.
Fouled away. If it's counted 1-1. Well, Joyce has squared off against Jepsen a couple of times. We'll see his splits. Definitely discernibly better against right-handed pitching. Jepsen has walked Joyce a couple of times and retired him a couple of times. One in the dirt. After Joyce, it's back to the top of the order. And there's Marcus Semien. Fouled away again. Beltre will give it a look. Can't get to it.
Our bullpen live look is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and there is the lefty, Ryan Buckner, warming up for the Oakland A's.
Joyce has been patient. Jepsen somewhat deliberate. Was fouled back again. There's Chapman, who started the inning with a base hit. He's now at third. Piscotty reached on the base hit a moment ago that knocked Perez out of the game, over at first. And Joyce, a 33-year-old veteran. No power in that bat. He's just 1 for 8 in this series. Pinch hitting for Smolinski in the 6th inning. 2-2. That's a full count.
Good job by Juan Centeno and getting down, keeping that ball in front of him with that runner at third base. Take a look at this block. Nice job on a breaking ball. Not quite sure which way that ball is going to bounce, and it's got some of that sideways spin on it.
Not a huge crowd, but they're into it here. The 3-2 runner goes from first. That ball hit well out towards center field. Robinson on the run. He'll get there and make the catch. Chapman tags. He'll score. It's a 1-run game. Sac fly for Joyce. They're 2 away. That run goes to Perez's line today. Third run he's allowed. And he is still responsible for the runner over at first. Here's Marcus Semien. Again, Centeno with a good smother. So the Rangers, they got all 4 runs in the second inning. It has since been very quiet. While the A's chipped away for a couple in the third inning. They've added a run here in the 6th inning. And they have the potential tying run on base. Jepson's 1-0. Very high. Saw Jeff Bannister there. He and the Rangers trying to put an end to some of the voodoo that has really cursed them at this ballpark in recent years. That one very high. They have lost 10 of their last 11 in this park.
Nobody up in the Ranger bullpen, and for Jepson, this inning will be his. The only lefty we know, of course, is Olsen, still a couple of hitters away, and so these righties will be all Kevin Jepson's.
Pop-up foul. No play for Centeno.
That would have been nice on a 3-0 pitch. Yeah. You get a pop-up.
Well, these are the portions of the game that were so critical to the Rangers last year. The 6th and 7th innings were, to put it mildly, a bit of a bugaboo. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pardon me. Strike 2. How are they going to give this guy?
I'm going to tell you what it was. The crowd got you. I got me a little bit too, because I was like, "Oh, is that strike 3?" They were a little excited. They were clapping it up in the 3-1 count. Kevin Jepson's going to let us off the hook right here with a strikeout.
Hope springs eternal. There goes the runner. That one fouled straight back. Right into your garbage can behind the strip mall. What was that? Or did it hit a tank?
I don't know what that was. It was loud.
Whew. Scotty was off and running. He's back at first. Now the 3-2. High fly ball, but out to right field. Mazzara tucks it away. Inning is done, but the A's get one back. Go to the 7th. It's a 1-run game.
It's the old show.
summary, and we're going to take you back to the second inning. Rugen Odor hit a hard ground ball right back up the middle. It hit the leg of Daniel Megden, the starter tonight or this afternoon for the Oakland A's. He was down but not out. He gets back in there, and then Ryan Rua bunts, and Megden throws the ball away. That led to a couple of runs for the Texas Rangers. It was an inning in which they scored 4 runs. They kicked it off with 3 straight hits, including a double from Adrian Beltre, and that has been all the offense so far for the Rangers. The A's have climbed back in this one, though. It is 4-3, and now with Rugen Odor leading off this 7th, Rangers will try to add on.
Good shift on against Odor, and he'll pull the bunt down that first base side, but Olsen makes a nice play, tags him out. There's one away.
This bunt just a little bit too hard for Rugen Odor as he tries to drag bunt. The idea is to get the first baseman to field the ball, which he did, but to push it a little bit more toward second base, get him further along, maybe not quite hit it as hard. And you're right, that is a nice play. And Matt Olsen.
Well, he just barely got him. One away. Now Rua. After that second inning, all the action you just documented, it has been very slim pickings for this Rangers team since. Rua skips away from that one. A couple of changes for the A's. Chad Pinder, who had been in left field, slides over to center. And Joyce, just pinch hit, takes over in left field. The 1-0 to Rua, and that one is in there. Since that caught stealing in the second inning, the Rangers have had 1 hit and 1 walk. And half of those base runners were then thrown out on the bases. 1 and 2 to Rua. Rangers have been aggressive in this series on the bases. And Manny talking about that yesterday said, well, look, I mean, you saw our numbers with runners in scoring position. In fact, the opening game, they were 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. They were 4 for 35 going into Tuesday night. He said, I felt like it was maybe time to do something offensively. And they did on Tuesday. Now, the base running didn't work out real well, but they won the game. Offense got going a little bit. And, sometimes we noticed it a lot last year. There were occasions when Carlos Gomez would do some things on the bases, just energize the ballpark.
Yep.
Change things enormously. And sometimes you just need to shake things up a little bit, get something going. 3-2. And that's high. Rua will take the 1-out walk.
Well, today a little bit better for the Rangers with runners in scoring position. 3 for 3 this afternoon. They've left just 1 man on base, but as we mentioned, that 4th inning has really been the only inning in which we've seen action. There's a double by Elvis Andrus back in the 6th. Then he got thrown out stealing. I think that's the only runner that's been in scoring position outside of what we saw in the 2nd.
One off the plate to Robinson for ball 1. Robinson 1 for 2. He's had some good at bats. In fact, brought a .429 on base average into this one today. And we know he has the power. Saw it last year in his limited time with a big club. We've seen it in spring training the last 2 years. Already has a home run this season. He has always been a very selective and smart hitter. In minor leagues, a terrific patient hitter. Watch is a close one that time, but for a strike. Well, Matt Bush appears to be ready in the bullpen. Might expect to see him in the 7th. Coulomb got the final out of the 6th inning. Another final 2 outs with the caught stealing thrown in there. Now out here in the 7th. A little bit tight, 2-1. Last year, Robinson, he played in 48 games. He had just 107 at bats, but knocked 6 over the fence, had 5 doubles as well. He showed us the power, but down a handful of times last year, though. They play him pretty much straight up. It's 2-2. See the numbers from last year.
48 games, scores that big home run that he hit in Yankee Stadium. A nice moment for Drew Robinson last year. Now getting a little bit more playing time than was expected. I think with those consistent at-bats, you'll see that on-base percentage and his ability to control the strike zone like he talked about show up.
Strikes out here, 2 away. Brings up Juan Centeno. Centeno's had a couple of good swings today. Nothing to show for it yet. Backup catcher. Chirinos taking the day off today, and there was little question as to whether or not Chirinos would have the day off after last night when he got a little banged up on a play at the plate. Hurt his wrist. It was wrapped in ice last night. He says he's fine. But it was a great day to give him some time off. That was apparently in the works anyway. Oftentimes the case with a day game after a night game. You would give your catcher a day off. There's Robbie. One and one. So this was last night.
Yeah, you're going to see a ground ball to Joey Gallo, bobbled it a little bit, probably tried to rush his throw, and so it was up in the air as you see the slide and the contact with Robinson Chirinos' glove as the ball popped out, and he was feeling a little something in that wrist last night. Was a little bit sore today as well. It does not sound like it'll be anything significant, though.
2-1 the count on Centeno. Tomorrow we'll be back home to start the 6-game homestand. The first of 3 with the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow night. Centeno lines this one out into right field. That's a base hit. Around second, Rua. He'll head to third. And the Rangers have him on the corners here in the 7th inning. Another good at bat for Centeno.
Yeah, he's put together 3 really good at bats today. He gets himself a breaking ball over the plate that he can handle, drives it into right field. So good to see Juan Centeno get that first hit. Not just of the day, but of the season. 2 outs, maybe Chu can do something here against the lefty. It would be good to see the Rangers get another run on the board. It's been somewhat quiet for them since that 2nd inning.
Chu hitless so far today. And he takes strike 1. Well, after a long dry spell after that second inning. Last inning, Rangers got a couple of base runners against Mengden, essentially forcing him from the game. Coulomb has come on since. Now a little traffic here, and a big breaking ball just misses. 1-1 to Chu. That was a doozy. An insurance runner too sure would be huge here. Chu with a bouncer foul. 1-2.
Matt Olson. Looks like a bad catcher's frame job. Tried to make that ball look fair. The old Little League style play. Caught in foul territory. I don't think you're going to fool anybody with this move. Hey, look, it's fair. Right here, look at that. Fair ball. You're out.
One and two the count. Chu stays alive.
It's a good breaking ball that Chu just fouled off. 79 miles an hour, but a lot of break. Tight spin on that one. You think about 2 strikes, just trying to stay alive. Good job by Chu. We've seen slider, curveball, slider, curveball. I mean slider here.
Well, the pattern holds. Swing and a miss. So Chu strikes out. It ends the Rangers' threat in the 7th. They stand and stretch here. It's a 1-run game. And we are less than a week away. The first Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night of the season. Next Wednesday, April 11th. Rangers and Angels, a 7:05 game, and all the hot dogs you can eat for just $1 each. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Matt Bush indeed has come on.
Game number 4 here for Matt Bush. He threw really well in his last appearance here earlier in this series. In the opener, inning of work just took him 9 pitches. So Matt Bush will try to build off of that a little bit. His previous 2 outings, threw 22 pitches on opening day against the Astros. A couple days later, threw 20 in an outing. So it's good to see him have a nice clean inning in the opener in this series. A couple of days off, and he's back at it again, trying to hold this 4-3 lead.
2-0 the count to Pinder. That one almost unbuckles his belt. 2, 3, and 4 hitters. in this 7th inning. That's why these middle innings sometimes, said it last inning, the 6th and 7th inning sometimes so critical. I mean, here you get the heart of the order, and there is ball 4. So Pinder never challenged. The lead man is on. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Rick Renner.
Now batting second baseman,
All right, thanks, Rick. Home opener for Minnesota as check in on Pinder here. Here's Jed Lowry. He's had a couple of good swings today. A double in the 3rd inning and singled in the 5th.
You know, Matt Bush last year, the walk rate was respectable. 3.3 walks per 9. That's certainly something that you can work with. Had an excellent strikeout rate, 10 strikeouts per 9. But the walks have been a little bit of an issue now. That is his 5th walk this season in his 3+ innings worth of work. He's only allowed 1 hit. He's had 4 strikeouts as well. The only thing that has been a little bit of a surprise for him has been the command. 5 walks now for Matt Bush on the year.
Well, that brought Doug Brocail out there in a hurry. 5 straight misses to start the inning.
I'm going to put that in perspective. He's faced 15 batters now, including Pinder right there. He's walked 5. Last year, 240 batters faced, only walked 19. The year before, he only walked 14, faced 243 hitters. So it's something to keep an eye on here. Hopefully everything okay with Matt Bush, but the fastball command has been a little bit off here to start the season.
This ball smashed but foul. Wow. So there's the first strike of the inning. 1-1 the count. Well, Jake Diekman has been working out there. Appears to be ready or very close to it if needed.
I got to believe Jake Diekman getting ready for Matt Olson, a couple of hitters away. Chris Davis on deck. Olson scheduled to follow him.
That pitch just, and I mean just, out of the top of the zone. 2-1 the count. Well, when talking about last year's 6th and 7th innings, the Rangers were outscored 218 to 152. I mean, many games were decided in those 2 innings. There was all the talk of who was closing games, what was happening in the 9th inning. But what happened was when you start shifting guys into the closer role, it means a trickle-down effect. And certainly things were dramatically affected in the 6th and 7th innings last year. To the detriment. This ball belted out to right field, drops down, base hit. Pinder to 3rd base, and they'll stop him. So Lowry smashes one to right field, and the A's have him on the corners with nobody out.
That's been a good day and a good series for Jed Lowry. 3rd hit of the afternoon. This breaking ball was left up over the plate. Looked like Matt Bush might have been trying to throw that pitch back door. It's not going to get any easier now with Chris Davis up. Runners at the corner in this 1-run game.
Well, how about this test? Chris Davis at the plate. Nobody out. And he takes it just wide. See his numbers against Bush. 1-1 the count. Davis, not a huge guy, But he generates a lot of power.
Strong for sure. Good bat speed. Mentioned that good power, good strong lower half.
The last 2 years, only Giancarlo Stanton has had more home runs in the big leagues. 1-2 the count.
Good breaking ball there from Matt Bush after the fastball that Chris Davis was late on. That's a really good job reading bats as a pitcher and a catcher. Learn from what you see, and you saw Chris Davis a little bit late on a previous fastball, so you know he's thinking, trying to get it started a little bit faster. Matt Bush is 95 to upwards of 100 miles an hour with that heater. So they throw the breaking ball on his way out front.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. So he punches out Davis for a huge out.
That's a tremendous job by Matt Bush and Juan Centeno to bounce back after the walk and the base hit and go after one of the toughest hitters in this lineup. And my goodness, did Chris Davis look fooled on that breaking ball way out front. Ugly swing from him, and a nice job by Matt Bush to retire him on the strikeout.
Walk a single, but he got a big strike out of Davis, and now Jake Diekman on to face Matt Olson.
Yeah, just a third of an inning for Jake Diekman against the Athletics on Monday. He had a walk and a hit in that outing. Did throw 18 pitches, also struck out a batter. Now he's got a big task here in Matt Olson.
Jumps ahead of him. Strike 1. Olson 0 for 3 today. It was Diekman who came on the other day in a tie game and gave up the would be the winning runs.
So here's Matt Olson, hits by direction against lefties. Must feel like you don't need a left fielder, but you hate to not have one at 5% of the time when he hits a fly ball. And so the Rangers, for the most part, playing him straight up as he has hit 95 of the balls to center or to right.
Two and one the count. The tying run for Oakland is Chad Pinder. He's at third base. Jed Lowry, the other side of the diamond at first, the potential go-ahead run. 2-1, and there's a swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, what the hits by direction will tell you is that obviously that Olson is a pull hitter. He can get the ball back up the box as well. So as a pitcher, that tells you that you should be able to, I don't want to say own the outside part of the plate, but get a pretty good amount of it to yourself if you can throw that breaking ball down or away, because he's going to pull off.
Stays 2-2. Nothing easy in this first week of the season for the Rangers. Today's game, more proof of that. Full count now on Matt Olson. Rangers have led the entire way today. The hopes of splitting this 4-game series. Diekman delivers and a pop foul again.
Good battle going on here now between the lefty Diekman, the lefty Olson. Obviously Jake Diekman comfortable throwing that slider into full count. Such a tough spot to be in when you're the lefty pitcher, knowing that if you throw it out of the zone, he could swing at it, but you certainly don't want to walk him.
Bouncer first base, and a leaping stop by Gallagher. That's foul. Everybody back.
Joey almost looked like he jumped a little bit early, but did a nice job of catching that baseball, and it was just foul.
Good hang time, kind of like Alex English back in the day for the Denver Nuggets.
Nuggets
got up there and he hung. That was my team when I was a little guy.
Oh, okay. Just looking for the connection.
Strike 3 called. Olson down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts in this 7th inning.
Well, that's the nastiness of Jake Diekman and what it could be. He wanted this fastball in, but it's 95 miles an hour, and it's okay that he missed this spot away. You see the reaction from Juan Centeno. Pretty excited about that call because he knows what a big out that is in that spot. So now Jake Diekman just one batter away from getting the Rangers out of this jam.
Well, this would be a big lift. Matt Chapman has had a good day. 2 hits already, and he takes outside for a ball. Pinder walked. Lowry had the base hit. They're on the corners. And that one just off the outside edge. 2-0. Diekman trying to put out the fire here in the 7th inning. 2-0 pitch. And it's 3-0. Everything away on Chapman.
There has been away, and so far the Rangers have been very good in these spots when the A's have had runners in scoring position. Just 1 for 7 so far this afternoon, and Jake Diekman trying to make that 1 for 8.
There's a 3-0. And a swinging bouncer, third base. Beltre has it. And the inning is done. Boy, Diekman gets out of a huge jam. First, it was Bush taking care of Chris Davis. And then Diekman rushed it past Olson. And by the way, if you're out on a boat, I got a great idea for you. MLB At Bat. It's your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season rather. You can get the Rangers home screen icons and features like MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, highlights, stats, news. Trust me, there's a lot more. Download the MLB At Bat app today. All right, so the Rangers navigate the often perilous 6th and 7th innings. And out of the 8th, a chance here to maybe add some insurance runs as Gallo bounces one right back to the mound. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 8th. Emilio Pagan getting it done quickly.
Well, on April 7th, the Rangers will be taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. That is, by the way, this Saturday. Game starts at 7:05, and the first 15,000 fans of the ballpark will receive an Elvis Andrus bobblehead, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Brookshire's. Make sure you visit TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS.
Andrus sends one in the air to center field. 2 pitches, 2 outs in the 8th.
You see Emilio Pagan, game number 4 for him. 1 strikeout in his 4 2/3 innings of work so far. Any chance Adrian swings to this pitch?
I mean, I think there's a chance.
I do think there's a chance. Give him a cookie, he's on it. No.
Not with that one, though.
There's the swing, a little late. Squared to bunt, which meant he was taking all the way. But you never know. Listen, as much as we had the conversation about swinging 3-0 because that may be the best pitch you're going to get in the at-bat, we just saw it didn't work out as well for Chapman, but we saw it. I got to tell you, I used to be dead set against, in a situation like this, swinging at the 3rd pitch. Right? Of
First
the inning.
pitch?
No, yeah, 3rd pitch of the inning, which would be 3rd out, 1st pitch of the at-bat. But now I'm like, you know what? Maybe go ahead. If you like it and it's good, what's the big deal? If you make it out on the next pitch, did it matter? Right? You know, 3 pitches versus 4. I don't think it's such a terrible idea. Now, if you know the team is making a pitching change, say somebody warming up down the bullpen, Chris Martin's down there warming up for the Rangers. If you knew he was starting the inning, I might take my time getting up there. We saw Elvis do that the other day. That might be the play, but I got to tell you, I think the way this game is moving, you like a pitch, get after it.
Well, there's a base hit to center field for Adrian Beltre. And he'll return to first with a 2-out single, but he has just tied Ricky Henderson on the all-time hit list at Ricky Henderson Field. And meanwhile, in the outfield, looked like Pender came up lame after that one.
Yeah, interesting.
There's Ricky.
I mean, they got to announce it on the big screen, right? With Ricky here, he knows.
He definitely knows. Now, Beltre edging just a little bit further. Tied for 24th all-time with Ricky.
That's incredible, man. I mean, that is incredible. Yeah.
Which kid just had the good day?
Yeah, one has a chance to continue climbing up the list. One is shut it down, although, you know, Ricky Henderson still looks like he is in tremendous shape. I'm sure he is. He could probably get a couple of knocks. Hamstring? What got here?
I know he's walking it off out there, though.
Take a look at what happened on this base hit from Adrian Beltre. Comes Bender back in. Oh, yeah. A slide on the turf. That didn't look great.
No.
He's going to stay. And, of course, Smolinski's out of the game because Matt Joyce pinch hit for him. Pinder went over from left to center. Joyce stayed in left. So as far as what they have left on the bench, it's a short bench here. Boog Powell is available.
Yep.
He can play the outfield. And then Maxwell, of course, is the backup catcher, but Pinder's going to stay in the game.
It's a short bench everywhere these days. Many teams going with much larger pitching staffs than in the past.
I wonder if that will help. You ever seen this before? Manager make a change from left field? Never seen it.
Yeah, he visited his center fielder, and then on the way back to the dugout, well, I'll get the baseball too.
Even Bob Melvin's laughing.
New pitcher coming on for the A's. Was 3,055 for Adrian Beltre. More history for the Rangers' third baseman.
Over 19,000 men have played this game. Adrian Beltre. When you think about how short the list is of hits. 24th, right? Is that what you just said?
Yep. Tied for 24th.
Man, that's unbelievable. Bruce Maxwell in the air. Ricky, hey, you believe that guy just tied you? Be great, wouldn't it? Hey, you're about to drop down a spot on the list.
Swing and a miss by Mazzara. 1-1 the count. Mazzara with a hit today, 1 for 3. 2 outs here. Rangers could certainly use an insurance run. Get the right guy up there. Look at those numbers against left-handers. 4 for 8 this season. Buchter's 1-1 and a swing and a miss.
Well, Nomar Mazzara is definitely the type of left-handed hitter who would have a shot at putting up some decent numbers against lefties. We know he's had his struggles at times and doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. We saw it this year against the lefty, but doesn't happen too often with him. But because of that swing, his ability to drive the ball the other way, those are always the toughest outs for left-handed pitchers. Those left-handed hitters that will and are willing to take you opposite field. The dead pull lefties for left-handed pitchers, more often than not, you hit your spots, you're going to get that guy out. But the guy that can spray the field a little bit is the much tougher out for the left-handed pitcher.
Ryan Buchter has come out of the pen here with 2 away. The lefty's 1-2. Fouled away. Looks like Buchter was hoping for more from that one.
Here's the overall numbers. 241 for Nomar against lefties. We mentioned 3 home runs. One of those came this year. Much better against righties. 266. Obviously a lot more at bats, so the more home runs.
This ball hit well out to center field. It's going to drop in, base hit. Beltre will stop at second. So 2 men on and another really good at bat by Nomar Mazzara.
Yeah, right on cue, right back up the middle and solid contact as well from Nomar. You see the slider from Buckner set right in the middle of the plate. He's actually lucky Nomar didn't do more damage on that pitch. Good smooth swing, as we see so often from Mazarin. So now runner in scoring position with 2 outs. See if Rudin Odor can pull the same trick.
Odor scalded a ball back in the 2nd inning, right off the leg of starting pitcher Daniel Megden. That was his 1 hit, drove in a run with that one. 1 for 3. Hits this one in the air over to the left side, foul and out of play. We go with 3 infielders on the right side and Chapman by himself on the left side. Outfield plays Odor straight away. Buckner's 0-1 and this one popped up. Foul ground. Lucroy drifting and he makes the play. Inning is done. The Rangers leave a pair in the top of the 8th inning, but they still lead by 1. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by your North Texas Ford dealer. See your best in Texas Ford dealer during Truck Month. It's buy now time. The Oakland Coliseum here in the East Bay. Final game of this 4-game series. Rangers holding on to a 1-run lead, and they give the ball to Chris Martin in the bottom of the 8th.
And game number 5 for Martin, 3 1/3 so far, just 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He's done an excellent job of generating those swings and misses. And he last pitched the 2nd game of this series when he set up Keone Kela for the save, and it looks like this is how Jeff Bannister is kind of hoping to finish out games, with Martin in the 8th and then Kela in the 9th. That is exactly what they did on Tuesday. We'll see now. Alex Claudio is up in the pen, but it's all righties that are due.
That one fired right in there for a strike. 1-1. There's Claudio.
I gotta believe Alex is there just in case. You mentioned that Powell and Maxwell are on the bench. There are 5 straight right-handed hitters that are due.
1-2 on Lucroy, who has a hit today. He's also struck out and flied out. Martin's eyes set in the 1-2 pitch. A little tall. 2-2.
Good live fastball, 95 miles an hour, and Centeno wanted it up, and that's exactly where Chris Martin put it. So you got a couple of options after you do that. Elevate. As you take a look at the Rangers bullpen, Matt Bush, Diekman, Jepson, and now Chris Martin have already been in there. Chavez probably not available today, but the other guys certainly are.
In the air to right, one away. Brings up Stephen Piscotty.
I take that back. I forgot Matt Joyce pinch hit, so it's actually righty, righty, lefty. That's my mistake. So with Matt Joyce on deck, that's probably part of the reason Alex Claudio was warming up. What will be interesting to see is how Jeff Bannister handles it. Nobody on. Piscotty is retired by Martin. Does he give Martin Joyce with Simeon and Pinder do next, or does he bring in Alex Claudio? So we'll see how this whole thing goes down. I mean, I was looking right at it, and I still said 3.
Looking at Joyce, you mean?
I was looking. I'm looking at my lineup, and I could see Matt Joyce there, written in big red letters.
This one over first base, and that's a base hit for Piscotty, his second of the day. He's going for 2. Good on from Mazzara. The throw, got him at second base. Oh my! Piscotty trying to take an extra base, and he was running on the wrong man.
It's a good job by Nomar Mazara for a lot of reasons. Yes, it was a great throw, but watch this ball as it trickles into the bullpen, right? It's going to go from grass to the dirt almost over home plate, which can be a little bit tricky. You're not exactly sure how that ball is going to bounce, and Nomar does an excellent job of fielding that ball and throwing an absolute strike to Elvis Andrus as he applies the tag, and that is a huge, huge out.
What a great play. It's a tremendous throw from Nomar Mazara. And now here is Matt Joyce. To answer your question from a moment ago, it appears as if with 2 outs, they'll let Martin take care of it.
I think about this. How often does Nomar Mazara have to backhand a ball on dirt? Hardly ever, if never, right? I mean, it's just not something he does. Yo, what's the big deal? I mean, he's just not practicing that. You don't know. That's where the catchers squat, so you know that area is chewed up a little bit from the bullpens that they're catching and everything else. You just never know where that ball could potentially bounce, and he played it perfect. The exchange was clean. I mean, any kind of bobble there at all, and Piscotty's going to be safe.
Right.
So it was a really nice, clean exchange that you otherwise may have noticed, not have noticed. Nice job by Nomar.
Well, we have seen him make a lot of good throws from the outfield over the years, but I don't think I've ever seen him have to come back at that angle, you know, that quickly. And that was just a perfectly delivered throw to second base. 2 gone, and the count now 2-1 on Joyce. Joyce pops it up. Beltre, plenty of time to get there, and the inning is done. This one goes to the 9th inning, thanks in large part to the defense and the rocket arm of Nomar Mazara. top as we go to the 9th inning. Hey, tomorrow back home in our probables, brought to you by North Texas Ford. Marco Estrada will have the ball for the Blue Jays tomorrow. Always a tough opponent. And Matt Moore has pitched well against the Blue Jays in his career. He'll be making his second start as a Ranger tomorrow night. All right, Hatcher has come on now for Oakland. Hatcher's 4th appearance of the year. He'll get the bottom of the order here.
Hatcher, a guy with pretty good velocity. Fastball sits right around 95. Slider at 86. Curve at 82. He also throws a split finger. Sits around 87. And our friends at Inside Pitch, who do pitch classifications, also have a 5th pitch that he throws. We talked about this a year ago. He apparently throws the slider. I'm not making that up. I'm looking at it right here. SLUTTER. And that pitch sits at 89.7 miles per hour. It's basically what it is. It's
We all know what it is.
not quite a cutter, not quite a slider.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. That's right.
Two-strike pitch, check swing, right back to Hatcher. They'll underhand it to anybody. There we go. Olsen gets there. 1 away. So Hatcher, and with Daniel Mengden for 5 1/3, then Coulombe, Pagan, Buchter, and now Chris Hatcher. So here's Drew Robinson. And he takes one run on the corner for a strike. Oh, 2. The Rangers threatened last inning. They threatened in the 7th as well. But they did all their damage today in the 4th inning. 4 runs on 4 hits. One very big error in that inning as well. 0-2. It's up and away. Ball hit hard on the ground, but right to Olsen. 2 away in the 9th inning. Right now for the bottom of the 9th inning, Keone Kela appears ready to go. Kela got the save here on Tuesday night.
A little bit less breathing room here if the Rangers can't add on. A game that he closed out, I mentioned on Tuesday. Final score of that one was 4-1. So we had the 3-run cushion to work with. If Juan Centeno doesn't keep this inning going, it'll just be that 1-run lead.
Oh, the top of the order coming up.
Top of the order, yeah. So should be a fun 9th.
1-0. And this one hit right back up the middle. Base hit for Centeno. He's had a nice day at the plate. He's had a nice day behind the plate, too.
He certainly has a couple of base hits. The hard line out back in the 2nd inning as well. And we've talked about some of the balls that he's blocked in the dirt. He certainly called a very good game and a good approach, and good to see from Juan Centeno taking advantage of the rare opportunity. 2nd start of the year for him.
So the inning does continue. Chu gets to the plate and a chance to get a base hit. They're 0 for 4 so far. Fouls this one away.
So I think I told you this. So I played briefly with Juan Centeno back in 2012 at the very end of my career, trying to make a little comeback. And he was 22 years old in AA Binghamton with the New York Mets. I was 39 years old. 17 years older than him when we played together. He's probably like, are you serious, dude? 39 years old. What are you doing in AA?
Did he?
Maybe it's time to just shut her down.
Do you think you were a coach?
Probably. No doubt some gray hairs that I brought to the AA clubhouse for those couple of weeks.
Well, he takes his lead. And a 1-1 to Chu. He sends it the other way, but foul. 2 out here in the 9th. Rangers by 1. Hatcher's 1-2. Ooh, that ball hit well. Out to right field. Piscotty is back. It's gone. A 2-out, 2-run blast by Chu in the 9th inning. And those are some huge insurance runs for the Rangers.
Well, what a perfect time for Chu to go deep. As you mentioned, we're just talking about what the 9th inning was looking like for Kella, top of the order, but instead of it being a 1-run game, it's going to be at least a 3-run game. Chu goes way deep to right field against Hatcher. All thanks to that Juan Centeno 2-out base hit to keep the inning alive.
Yeah, that was very clutch. Gallo sends one fouling out of play.
Take a look at the replay here. The pitch from Hatcher, just a fastball up and in, and he's got good velocity. This is impressive by Chu to get to this pitch and to drive it the way that he did.
0-2. So a 6-3 lead thanks to Chu's 2-run homer. The 7th home run of the season for the Rangers, but the first that was not a solo home run. Gallo rolls out to first. The inning is done.
Well, certainly good to see Shin-Soo Chu get on the board, and he did it at the right time here in the top of the 9th inning. 2-run blast to give the Rangers a 6-3 lead.
Thanks, Ricky. Here we go. Bottom of the ninth. And Keone Kela to try and finish this one off. And he starts it off with a strike to Marcus Semien.
I mentioned Kela a couple of nights ago picking up his first save of the season, and Jeff Bannister has talked about, a lot of questions about, is Kela the closer of this team? He certainly is getting the early opportunities and has the ability to get it done, as well as certainly has the stuff for it. As you see what he did on Tuesday, did allow one hit, no runs, no walks, just a one strikeout over 19 pitches. But it's a live arm, it's a good fastball up in the zone, good breaking ball that he can manipulate, make it big, make it small.
Gets the pop out to start things here in the ninth inning. Pender, and he fouls off a strike. Pender's been a pest today on 3 times. Kela leaves that one high. 1-1. Hard thrower and definitely a combative sort of personality on the hill. A guy who's looking to come right at you. This one flared down the right field line, foul. A long strike on Pender.
Well, he has that edge that you're looking for, and whenever you're trying to identify late inning relievers, guys that can get the biggest outs, conversation always goes to the closers as well, and who can handle that last out, especially when you're on the road, right? There's no parachute, there's no safety net. You give it up in the bottom of the ninth on the road, and that's a game that you've lost. There's no reliever coming in behind you to save the day, and so it takes a special personality to be able to handle that and trying to identify those guys. Without a doubt, Kela is one of those guys that has it. He's not going to back down from anybody, and he's got the stuff to match. And that's why he looks like such a great candidate for this job, and he wants it. You know, it's one thing to have great stuff and to maybe come across as a guy that has no fear, but I will tell you over the years, and I think there's a lot of big leaguers that will tell you the same thing, play with lots of guys in that bullpen that just were much better in the 8th inning than they were in the 9th. They were much more comfortable, and they didn't want it in that spot. It didn't work for them. Kela wants it to work, and he wants it badly, and he's not afraid of the challenge.
Goes 2-2 here on Pender. 1 out, nobody on. Rangers up by 3. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Pender down on strikes, and there are 2 gone.
Great breaking ball here from Kela. I mentioned it earlier. He knows how to make it small. He knows how to make it big. This ball starts at the top of the zone, maybe even out of the zone, and finishes below. That is legitimate 12-6 break on that curveball from Kela. And when he throws that fastball that we saw earlier in the at-bat up in the zone, that is the deadly combination, and it doesn't have to change. It can be as simple as that 1-2 punch for him. Fastball's up in the zone, big breaking ball down. Very difficult for hitters when you don't get any side to side on that breaking ball. It's so hard to try to square that pitch up.
Takes care of the first 2 here in the 9th. Gets ahead of Lowry, 0-1. Lowry has been a tough out today as well. 3 for 4 with a double. Talk about max effort guys. We hear that a lot. Most guys coming out of the bullpen these days are max effort guys. You can quite literally hear it when Kela's in there. Two and one. Again inside. Lowry jackknifing out of the way for those pitches as if they're coming way in. They're missing by an inch or two.
Yeah, ball's up in the zone. This one a little bit in, just misses off the plate. But you're right, the reaction there, would have thought that pitch was right at him.
3-1, and that's high, so there goes Lowry. The A's do have a base runner in this 9th inning. That in and of itself, not a huge deal, but the fact that it gets Chris Davis to the plate is a bit of a bigger deal.
It is, and this is a fun matchup, right? These are the kind of matchups we live for late in the game. Power bat, power arm. A couple of strong, young, big leaguers going after it right now here in the bottom of the 9th.
Walk called on Keller. Lowry will go to second base.
A balk has been called.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard
The PA announcer?
PA announcer say that a balk was called. That was strange. No harm, no foul. That run means nothing right now to the Rangers.
Well, to that end, Davis hitting a home run doesn't necessarily move the needle a ton, right? I mean,
it does, but it
his
changes
job
that
is to get on
momentum.
base.
Yeah, it does. It changes the momentum a little bit, though, and so that's something you obviously would like to stay away from, even though from a score standpoint, everything is still very much in your favor.
It's like Keller reaching back, getting a little more there at 97.
He was. You know, the other part of that as well is the carryover. You want him confident finishing this game off.
Oh, did he go around? He did. Strike 3. A meek swing at the 3rd strike, and this one is over. Keone Keller saves it, and the Rangers win 6-3.
Well, fantastic job by this pitching staff today. Martin Perez picking up the win in his return to the rotation, and we're going to watch his last pitch from Keller. We saw Davis make some bad passes at breaking balls back in the 7th inning, and here he does it once again, and Keller knew it based on what he had seen so far, what he knows about Chris Davis, and after he got ahead 0-2 with some big fastballs, he put Davis away quickly, and the Rangers pull off a split.